Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe. In this video, we'll be learning how to read the beam structure drawing, and I show you how to understand each details in structural drawing. Before start reading the details in this structural drawing, let's first understand important 5 information that we are going to look for. The first one is general notes. These general notes help us to understand the concrete grades and the concrete cover to be used. Now, for the general notes number 2, shows that the reinforced concrete shall be grade 30 for footing and columns and grade 25 for the slabs and the beams. So for the beams, the concrete grades to be used is grade 25. Grade 25 means that grade 25. Grade 25 means that it have a mixed ratio of 1:1:2. This for this for this for cement, this used for cement, and this one for sand, and this one used for aggregates, for aggregate, for aggregate, for aggregate. Also for the general notes, number 5 shows that the concrete cover for the slab and beams is 25 millimeter. After understanding the general notes, the second information is beam section. This is beam section. And the third information is beam elevation. All of this as a beam elevation. All of this as a beam elevation. Now, the fourth information is beam dimensions. Beam dimension. Beam dimension. For instance, for this section, its beam dimension are this one, which is 230 millimeter, which is width of the beam, and this one, which is 300, which is the depth of the beam. Now, let's looking for the final information is reinforcement and stirrups. Now, let's looking for the beam section and the beam elevation. This beam section and beam elevation are working simultaneous, means that beam section can be used to explain beam elevation, and this beam elevation can be used to explain this beam section. Now, let's look for the beam elevation. This is ground beam. This is ground beam number 9 with a beam dimension of 230 millimeter, which is width, this one, width of the beam, and 300 millimeter, which is the depth of the beam, So from this beam elevation, it have these arrows. These arrows shows used to explain the section of the beam, So when we look here, there is section 1:1 used to explain section 1:1. Also here there is arrows which explain section 1:1. Similarly for this beam elevation, it explains section 1:1. In general, all of this beam elevation used to explain beam section 1:1, which is this one. For this section 1:1, it have bottom zones and top zones. At the bottom zones is where tension reinforcement should be placed, and at the top zones is where compression reinforcement should be placed. Now, let's look its details. For the bottom reinforcement shows that there should be 2 bars with a diameter of 16 millimeter at a bar mark number 3. This is as a bar mark for the first steel bar, and this one is bar mark, which is 3 for the second steel bar. Now, also at the top, it shows that there should be 2 bars. This is 2 bars with a diameter of 16 millimeter. At bar mark number 2. at bar mark number 2. So this number 2 is bar mark for the steel bars at the top, and this is bar mark for the second steel bars at the top. Also, this beam sections have stirrups. So this is stirrups, links, stirrups, sometimes known as links. These links are used to hold these steel bars, Also, also shear links or stirrups used to control cracking in a beam. So these stirrups it have it have it, it shows us it have two diameter with a spacing of 200 millimeters at bar mark number 1. So it is as stirrups with a diameter of 8 at bar mark number 1 at a spacing of 200 millimeters. So this beam section it have width of the beam which is 230 millimeters, which is width, and the depth of the beam, which is 300 millimeters. Now let's looking for the beam elevation. This beam elevation is continuous. It's continuous beam, which is supported by columns. This is column, this is column, another column, another column, which each column is spanned from the center of the column to the center of the column is spanned by different distance. Now, for the span from the center of column A to the center of column B, its detail is as follows. At the bottom, there should be two bars. There should be two bars with a diameter of 16 millimeters at bar mark number 3. At the top, there should be two bars with a diameter of 16 millimeters at bar mark number 2. This bar mark help us to know where the beam starts and end from. Bar mark are used to explain where the beam starts and end from. Now, also for this beam elevation, at this span, for this beam, there should be shear reinforcements or shear links, sometimes known as stirrups, should be placed. So for this span, there should be 11 stirrups should be placed with a diameter of 8, at bar mark number 1 at a spacing of 2 millimeters. This means that 11 with a diameter of 8 at bar mark number 8 at bar mark number 1. This represents number of stirrups to be used. Number of stirrups which is 11. This 8 represents diameter of stirrups. Diameter of stirrups or diameter of rings. This number 1 represents bar mark. Bar represents bar mark, which is bar mark number 1. And this 200 represents spacing of these stirrups. Spacing of stirrups means that each stirrup is spaced from one stirrup to another stirrup is spaced at a distance of 200 millimeters. Now, let's look for the span from the center of column B to the center of column C. At the bottom, there should be two bars with a diameter of 16 millimeters at bar mark number 3. Also at the top, there should be two bars with a diameter of 16 millimeters at bar mark number 2. Also at this span, there should be 21 stirrups with a diameter of 8 at bar mark number 1 at a spacing of 200 millimeter. Also for the span, for this span, from the center of column C to the center of column D, at the bottom of the beams, there should be 2 bars with diameter of 16 millimeter at bar mark number 3. Also at the top, there should be 2 bars with diameter of 16 millimeter at bar mark number 2. Also at this span, there should be 12 stirrups with a diameter of 8 at bar mark number 1 with a spacing of 200 millimeter. So from one stirrup to another stirrup, there should be a spacing of 200 millimeter. Also for the span from the center of column D to the center of column E, there should be, at the bottom there should be 2 bars with a diameter of 16 millimeter at bar mark number 3. Also at the top, there should be 2 bars with a diameter of 16 millimeter with at bar mark number 2. Also at this span, there should be 16 stirrups with a diameter of 8 at bar mark number 1 with a spacing of 200 millimeter. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe so as to be notified for the next video, which will be learning how to lead structural drawing for the first floor beams. Thank you.